Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Daddy.
Young lady, I don't need a mic. I have a big mouth. Actually, it's been a while since I've spoken for intentional reasons, which I'll share for you in a moment. But actually, with that being said, the young lady, Virginia, she reminded me of something that I need to address before I speak, so that you all can be receptive to what it is that I have to say. So for all of you who are sitting down saying, he reminds me of someone, or I've seen him before, or I think I met him before, I want to clarify, I do look like Malik Yoba. So a lot of people have seen him before. So I want to address that so you can be more at ease. You don't have to think about that while I'm sharing information. So you know that I am me. I'm not Malik Yoba, but I am the person that you've been thinking about, trying to figure out who I look like and what you met me. Okay? So now that we've gotten that out of the way, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself as a person. I am, as she stated, I'm a holistic relationship coach and counselor for relationships. I say holistically because I can speak to you or my gifting is from dating phase to relationship phase to and through the marriage phase, and most importantly, effective communication is also what I teach. So that will be foundational for any of those phases, if you will. So, as far as me not speaking for a while, because I've been so focused on the information that I've been sharing and allowing myself to be omnipresent, so to speak. And again, I will go into that more in a few. But as far as who I am married for 11 years, happily married for 7 years, and that's very important. And the reason why I say it's very important is because the first 3 years of my marriage was hell, for the lack of a better term. But that's what birthed in me why I'm here today. Because coincidentally, at that time, that year 1 through year 3, I was a technician for Cox Communication. And as a technician, they teach you when you go to a house and troubleshoot problems that you start from the problem and you work your way back to where everything is good. So I figured, you know what, why not take that approach to my marriage? So I started where it was bad, the marriage, and I worked my way to where it was good, to figure out and troubleshoot where the issues were. So from there, I started from marriage, and I realized where we went wrong in marriage, and I had an aha moment, but I couldn't stop there, because we still had an issue there. So I went to when we were in a relationship, and I started there, and I found out what we went wrong when we were in a relationship, but I couldn't stop there. So I went back to when we were dating, found out what we went wrong when we were dating, and I couldn't stop there. So I had to go back to when I started dating other people as well, and found myself. So with those teachings, I realized that they were universal truths that anyone could receive. It had nothing to do with your gender, your race, or anything like that. It was universal truths that I actually taught to other people. So I started calling people that were having issues, started speaking to people that were having issues, and asking them the questions to see if what I was going through aligned with our situation, which brought us to happiness. And from that happiness, I wanted to share that same happiness with the world, which in turn birthed the book, The Handbook for Increasing Your Relationship IQ, which is what Susie was referring to earlier. So that is pretty much my story, how I ended up where I am, and why I haven't been speaking is because after the book, my book actually started being adopted as a prerequisite for counselors and marriage counselors and psychologists and stuff like that from Arizona to West Coast. I did not take psychology or anything like that, yet I have doctors that back my stuff and use it as a prerequisite for their marriage counseling. For their marriage counseling. So, with that being said, as I was stating earlier, me working on being omnipresent, and why I haven't been speaking for the last year and a half, I've been creating this. This is an actual simulator that allows people to self-coach and counsel themselves from the dating phase to and through the marriage phase. This allows you to fail here, learn to prevent you from failing in real life. Or if you're already in the phase, it allows you to start analyzing yourself to where you can fix and resolve the issues that you're having in your current phase. This right here is the prototype. It was in board game form, because I was going to spend I'd rather spend $30 to create this and test to see if the world needs it and wants it, as opposed to spending $30,000 to find out that they don't. So what I did was I created this. It was a long journey, finally finished, and Susie and a few of her friends were actually one of the pilot groups. It was piloted in Michigan, Arizona, Tennessee, California, and of course Virginia, and another place I can't think of off the top. But after gathering the information and seeing that this really works and it's changing people's lives and everything like that, now we've been raising funds to actually make it a free app. So that allows it for everyone to have it on their phones and their computers so that they can actually have the experience themselves and learn indirectly how to resolve their issues through relationships. So that's why I haven't been speaking for a while, because I've been so focused on this concept and allowing myself to be omnipresent and everywhere at one time so that people can learn from me indirectly, as well as learn and find themselves in the same token. Okay? So let's get into what I'm here to talk about today. So Susie calls me and she said, yeah, I want you to speak. I want you to speak for about 30 minutes. Great. You know, Susie, I'll do anything for you. But what do you want me to talk about? Relationships. Susie, 30 minutes, I cannot talk about relationships in 30 minutes. You got to do better. What do you want me to talk about? So today, I'm going to talk about two different extremes. She said, she literally texted me. It said, I want you to give the 5 things that you find common that people do wrong in the dating phase, and the 5 things that you see that people do wrong in the marriage phase. So we're talking 2 extremes here, no middle. We're talking about dating and marriage today. So I'm going to go through the 5 things that I find that's typically what people do wrong when it comes to dating, and then marriage. So let's start with number 1, dating. All right. And I had to work hard to come up with 5, because it was a long list, but the ones that stick out the most. The first one, when it comes to dating, is people dating when they don't like being alone. That's probably the biggest mistake that anyone makes when it's time to start dating. You should not date until you love being by yourself.
Amen. Yes.
A lot of people date because they think dating or being with someone is going to make them happy. So, dating when you want to be with someone is the wrong time to date. Dating when you want to be by yourself is the right time to date. Why? Because when you love being by yourself, you're not going to accept anything less than what you want. Plain and simple. You will not tolerate any kind of ridiculousness when you are dating and you're happy being by yourself. I don't need to deal with this. I'm happy by myself. So you will be intentional when it comes to selecting your mate. So that is the first issue, or the first thing that people do wrong when it comes to dating. So the second thing is dating without a clear list of characteristics, morals, and values. Now, if you were to, for anyone who has children, if you were to lose a dog, a cat, or your child, when the persons that are coming to look for or to help you, they're going to ask you for a picture. Why? So that they can identify what it is that they're looking for. So many people date without a clear list of what they're looking for, and they're dating people not knowing whether they found what they're looking for or not. Now notice in my list, I said a clear list of characteristics, morals, and values that they're looking for their mate. None of those are physicalities. Not one of them are physicalities. And I can almost bet, I'm willing to say 99% of you, if you end up married or if you are married, they look nothing like what you thought physically you were looking for in a male or female. So, what you should be looking for, have a list of, is a list of characteristics, morals, and in the game, it's called your non-negotiable list. That is a no-go. If you do not meet this list or the recipe to my happiness, you're done. As harsh as that may sound, that is just the reality. And I'm talking about the entire list. What happens is, because we are in this microwave society, we get so caught up in wanting stuff fast and now. We go to the dating phase and he's like, he got 8 of my 10, so he must be the one. Not everybody's perfect. That's when we start telling us, not everybody's perfect. Well, you're right. Not everybody's perfect, but somebody is perfect for you. And your list is not matched to other people. Your list is for you. That's why you have the list. That's why that's what you need. And the worst thing to do is to go into something that's going to already have trials and tribulations in the wilderness with issues already. You don't want to do that, because if you do not have someone that meets your list, that is what's going to make it easy for you to give up when the wilderness that's going to come, when it comes. So you need someone that's going to be worth the fight for what it is that you're looking for, which is ultimately happily ever after. Okay? So that's number 2. The second thing, or the third thing in dating is, once people figure out what their list is, they start to share their list with the people that they're dating. Epic fail. Let's discuss why. And granted, I understand the thought process behind it. You're tired. I don't have time for this. This is what I'm looking for. I want this. I'm not accepting anything less, but what you're doing is you're helping them to mold themselves into that, act a certain way, and then you're on the phone saying, you are too good to be true. No, you made them too good to be true. You told them what they need to do in order to woo you. So the worst thing you can do is when you're at the table, when you're discussing, well, what are you looking for in a man or female? They say, well, I'm looking for this, and this. The proper response is, time will tell, and hopefully you're the person. That allows them to eat, whether they're good or a bad person. Because even a good person, if I like you enough, I probably will try to live up to that. Yeah. If I'm a bad person, I'm going to live up to that until I get what I want, and I'm going to keep moving. Yeah. So, what you want to do is give them the opportunity to be their authentic self, so you can make the decision as to whether they're who you're looking for. You follow me?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, perfect. So, the fourth thing is they move from the dating phase to relationship with a person that doesn't meet all of the qualifications of their list, their love list. We've already discussed that. We tapped on that. So they start, time goes by, he or she meets the actual list to a certain extent, and then they move on. Okay, it's time to go into a relationship. No, it's not. It's time to move on. They do not meet all of the checklists. You have a perfect list of happiness, or recipe, if you will. So that is the list that you need to stick with. Because if you go into any recipe and you alter the list, it's not going to taste like why you got the recipe in the first place. That's true. So don't do that. If it says sugar, you need sugar in it. Don't try to put sweet and low in it. That's not what it said. So you keep going. You keep dating. Keep going to different grocery stores, if you will, to make sure you get the exact ingredients. And then you move on from dating to relationship. Okay? All right, so the fifth and final one is people put up a facade to win people over. I've already made that statement. If you like someone, typically you're going to try to live up to what you think that they want in order to get that person. But what you don't realize how deep that is the fact that if you try to alter yourself to win someone over, you don't like yourself. That's number one. You have self-esteem issues and you need to address that immediately. That's in the beginning. That's why you need to go fall in love with yourself. 2, if they do decide to love you, they do not love you. So you're stuck wondering if they really love you now because you acted a certain way to win them over. So you never experience real love because they love a fictitious person. So even if you found love, you didn't find love because they love a fake person. They don't love who you are. So the best thing to do is to be yourself so that when that person loves you, you really know that they love you. So never alter yourself. Always be yourself, and that's the only way that you'll find that someone really loves you. So that is the fifth and final thing that I can share. I can go on and on and on. But those are the 5 big things that I've seen that prevents people from actually successfully going from the dating phase to the relationship phase. So now we're going to go to the other extreme. And that would be marriage. You married folk out there.
Dun, 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 dun.
The first thing, the first mistake that married people make is that they think that their spouse is responsible for their happiness.
Yes! Say it again!
They think that their spouse is responsible for their happiness. No other person outside of yourself is responsible for whether you are happy or not. And let's talk about how dangerous that is, to put that responsibility on somebody. If they die, if they leave you, that means you are no longer happy? Are you kidding me? The worst thing that anyone can ever say to me is, so is that your other half? No, that is my other whole. Which means I was whole before I met her, and if she's gone or leaves, I'm going to be whole still. That is not your other half, because that implies that if they're gone, you're not whole anymore. That's crazy. You should always be whole in yourself. So, that's one of the worst things. Your job is to be happy by yourself. And we've already discussed that in the dating phase. So this is foundational stuff. So if you take care of that there, you won't have to worry about the issue being in the marriage phase. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Perfect. So, the second one. Confusing union with identical twins. What does that mean, Eddie? Thank you. I'm glad you asked. It means that people get married and think that union means that she's supposed to be like me or I'm supposed to be like him. So what they do is they try to, during the relationship, try to make that other person just like them. As opposed to union really meaning harmony, which means 2 individuals working harmoniously together. Individuals working harmoniously together. A symphony is a whole bunch of instruments that's playing different things, but they make one beautiful sound. They don't all just become the same thing. So, you 2 are supposed to feed off of each other and just make a perfect and beautiful union harmoniously as individuals. Which again, if you are yourself from the beginning, they already love who you are. So you all can live harmoniously as individuals. So that's the second one. Third. Wow. The confusing love and manipulation. This is so big. And let me show you the test in that. If you love someone, or if you do something out of love, whether they like it or not, reject it or not, it does not bother you because it's just an expression of love. That is love. I did this for you because I want to express love with you. So if you don't get all wild behind it or respond or reciprocate anything from me doing it, that there's no way possible that that can affect me. Why? Because I just wanted to express love. Manipulation, on the other hand, if I take you out, hey, you're right. So I take you out, spend all my money, we've done everything. I expect you to do something for me later. And when you don't, now I'm mad at you. Why? Because I did it with the intent of getting something back. That's manipulation. So if you have a mental list of everything you did for your man, the stuff that you did was not out of love. It was out of manipulation. And you put yourself in a bad predicament to where you can get upset, mad, or angry because they didn't respond the way that you expected them to. That wasn't love. Manipulation. Two different things.
And then they don't get you a gift for your birthday.
Manipulation. Why would that bother you?
Okay.
You got them a gift. I love you. Here's a gift. Here's some flowers. Whether you get anything back or not, that's not. Love is a one-way street. It's not a two-way street. It just looks like a two-way street when it's done correctly.
Yep.
It's a give and give, not give and take.
Exactly
I'm
right.
giving you all this because I love you. You know what? Because I love you, I'm giving this back. It's not I'm giving you and you better give me. It looks like a two-way street when it's done right. But it's really give and give, not give and take. And when you have love like that, you're competing to be or show love more than your other man. You are competing everywhere, especially in the bedroom. I got you.
Yeah. What? Could you just tell?
I got you. So, confusing love with manipulation. Second one, the fourth one. We're almost done. I'm not gonna get that sign.
She's busy. Talk.
Big hamburger helper hand. The fourth one is confusing peace with war. What does that mean? Thank y'all for asking. You guys are excellent. So, what people do is they think they're going to create peace by not causing conflict. So I'm not going to say anything about that because it's going to cause he or she to get all mad or rowdy. But what they don't realize is it's causing a war within. So I'm not going to say anything because he's going to get all mad, he's going to blow up or whatever, so I don't want to cause any kind of drama or issue, so you try to stay away from conflict. But you're causing conflict within. So that's not peace. And what happens is you end up resenting them, getting mad, the smallest things make you mad. You always leave the lights on. Turn the lights, if you see the light bill, you're going all snapping for stuff that does not even matter. Because you are pushing stuff down. And you're not even giving them the opportunity to fix it because they don't even know it's a problem.
Now, I do have a question. Can you use this one with dating or is this strictly for marriage?
Everything is foundational. You build from dating. You don't leave anything out. You start from there. You don't build the house from the roof to the bottom. Build the house from the foundation to the top. You take all of that with you. Okay? So yeah, most certainly you take that with you. That's applicable to dating and everything. But also make sure that you're not trying to express your list with them. They either have it or they don't. Don't try to put your list. Don't try to make them your list. They're either the person or they're not. And a lot of people put it and invest a lot of time in people that's not worth it. You can have friends. That's not your list. So that is confusing peace with war. You will never find peace by avoiding conflict. You don't give a person an opportunity to change, make a change, adjust themselves, or even see themselves. So you need to share that. And lastly, they see their spouse as their spouse, but not as their friend. Let's define friend. A friend is someone that knows every single thing about you. Does not judge you. You talk about all of the things that you've done, you did. They accept you for who you are, which is why you tell them everything you've done or did or what have you. So if your spouse is not your friend, you're telling someone else all of you're having true intimacy outside of your marriage. If you are marrying you marry someone that you say, oh, I can't tell him that, you already have a problem. If your spouse is not your friend and you can't share everything about them, you have a problem and you're in a situation that makes you feel trapped. If you are the happiest when you're out with your friends, and you get all upset because you at home, overtime and nothing that's a problem. That's a problem. And if you don't like your husband or your wife's friends, you don't like your husband or your wife. Because people that you hang with are the people that you really are. You've heard it, birds of a feather flock together. So if you don't like your man's friends, you don't like your man because that's how he is when he's with them. And there's a difference between you being just in an environment and you wanting to be in an environment. And if that's the friends that they carry and they like being in that environment, because that's who they are. So if you don't like your man friends, you don't like your man. I'm gonna tell you that right now. As soon as he hit that door, he is them. He is them. She is them. So be mindful. You can take a lot of notes from how your man or female friends are. And that's it for right now. Like I said, I can do this all day. This is my passion.
Yeah, I'm his Facebook friend. He's got videos all the time.
I have books. I have actually my book is an audio version, and like I said, this is going to be free. That's why I've been working so hard to raise the capital so that I can make it free.
But not only is this game is a lot of fun, but you do learn a lot. But talk like his daughter Naja is heavily into it, and Naja's how old?
She's 9. She was the first person that plays that, and that in itself. My daughter, when this first came, she played this, and when we wouldn't play with her, she played by herself, a ghost. So she would roll for that person and roll.
We're going to talk about that here. We're going to talk about that ghost.
My daughter is she's so competitive, and I have to stress that. She's so competitive. I mean, so much so when I got here, because ultimately you want to get off of the board to happily ever after, because everything else can lead you back to single, divorce, or what have you. So you want to get off the board where you're not connected to the things that can lead you to single. So I'm here, and when I'm rolling, she's like, "Please, Lord, let him get a divorce." So she's in this phase, and she gets a car because she was in a relationship phase. So single, dating, relationship, marriage, and then happily ever. She gets a car. The car said, "The person that you're with does not like you spending time with your friends and family." And though you do it seldomly, when you do, it turns into a very heated argument, almost physically. You can either advance to marriage with this person, or you can go back to single. And my daughter said, "Dad, like, dang, man." Dang. And I said, "So what you gonna do?" And my daughter, she looked at the card. Like I said, she's very competitive. She said, "Well, I'm gonna go back to single." She said, "Because even if I make it a happily ever after with this person, I won't really be happily ever after." And you talking about tears? I'm about to cry now. Because if I can prevent my daughter from going through that crap in real life on the game, just saving her, I've done enough in this. But this is the things that are being taught. The counseling and everything is already embedded in the cards and everything that are associated with this, to allow the people to self-coach and counsel. Because if I try to tell you what you need to do, you're going to reject it. But if you read the card and it convinces you to do it, you're going to make a change, or at least realize that you need to make a change. And that's what it's all about. So this is self-counseling, self-healing, and self-growth. So
Thank you.